Sorry about that. I don't know quite what happened there. I appear to have had a technical glitch. I have no idea why. If you can see or hear me, could you please give me a thumbs up? Or am I just talking to myself? Well, sometimes that's the best conversation we have, eh? But I really wanted to share this with you. Anybody there? I can't see me. Can you see me? Hello? Anybody there? Oh, what a palaver. I'm hoping that somebody is there. Anyway, I'm going to crack on and then hopefully somebody will tell me that they can see me. Andrea? Yes, somebody can see me. Okay, let's start that again. Hello, my name's Carrie and I'm one half of Two Big Girls Crafting here in the United Kingdom. I'm going to share with you today something I saw, an American demo called, oh Lord, the poor woman's name has gone up, Connie Stewart. I do believe it was Connie Stewart, but I will double check that and put it in the comments later. If you're watching earlier, you might be able to tell me if I'm doing this right. So, right, okay, what are we going to be? Let's stop the conversation. Let's get on with this. What am I doing? I have a strip of cardstock that measures 1 centimetre by 20 centimetres, and I have a piece of acetate. Hi Ali, sorry about this, lovey. A piece of acetate that measures 20 centimetres by 5 centimetres. I'm then going to bring up my Simply Scored board, and I'm going to, I've got my metric plate in. If you are in America or prefer to use inches, you can do this with inches. If you have your centimetres on, you're going to score at 1 centimetre, and I'm using the fat end because I want a good rounded deep score line on my piece of paper. I'm then going to take my acetate and I'm going to score it with the small end, and I'm going to score it at 1 centimetre all the way down, making sure, because acetate is slippy, we're going to work quite slowly. It's also very robust, so we need to do a good solid scoring on there. So we're going to score at 1 and then at 3. If you're in the US or use inches, your piece of acetate needs to be 2 inches wide by 8 inches long, and your strip of card needs to be 1 inch by 8 inches, and you will score at 1/2 inch and 1 1/4 inch. Let me just double check that. Hello Carol, thank you for joining me. Oh, Texas, it's a long way away, isn't it? Okay, so let's put these to one side. Oh, it's a bit cumbersome on my small space, but hey ho. The other tool that you need when you're doing this is a good bone folder. So first things first, I'm going to fold my strip of card in half and give that a good reinforced fold. Now I'm going to fold my piece of scored acetate. I'm going to use my fingers first because it's quite hard to work with until you get a good score in there. So that's now really scored well. Now let's fold the other one over, and that should marry up to the other side. Again, I'm using my fingers just to start the process so that I can get my bone folder in there and try and make that as neat as possible. So we've got that. So now we have this weird looking piece, and we're going to open it up again. The score lines on this, because it's acetate, are quite they're very good at holding their shape, but you can actually open them up and they will go back to where they should be in the first place. Now I need my tear and tape. I'm going to put 2 pieces of tear and tape, one each side of my scored line on the piece of cardstock. Now I bet you're wondering, what the bloody hell is she doing? Well, I'm going to be making some boxes using my scoreboard today, and this little gizmo is going to make that job super simple. So simple, I can do it, and that means something. Okay, so we take the tape off one side and we're going to place it over the 1 centimetre or 1 inch panel. So it's going to butt right up to there, and then there. So that's now on there. Then we're going to undo the other piece of tear and tape, take the cover off, and we're going to fold that over that edge. I use my fingers to start with, and then I'm going to bring in my bone folder and give it a good press down. Get rid of the rubbish, and then I'm going to refold the score lines on here where I'd opened them, and I'm going to score them again to make them nice and snappy. So the reason I've put the cardstock on is because acetate is clear, beautifully clear, it's easy to lose. But if you've got that piece of card on it, it's easier to find. Okay, so we have the tool. Next, I have 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 21 by 16 centimetres. I've got beautiful melon mamba and my favourite green, Granny Apple, and I'm going to score on all sides on both panels at 2 centimetres. This is super simple box making. Oh, that's squeaky squeak. Let's get that box 2, rotate, and 2. This is a really simple box that you can make whatever size you like. All you have to remember is you have to have your width, your length and your depth. So there we have, I've scored 2 centimetres in on all sides. So let's do the green now. We've got the pink at the bottom because this is our base. We're now going to make our lid. Now when you make a lid you want it to be slightly larger, and that's where this little gizmo comes in. We're going to snap it onto the edge of our scoreboard. Now I don't know if you can see, there you go, and it's sitting. Now because I'm metric, I have the metric plate sitting on the top of my scoreboard, so I just have to make sure that it's on the top of the plate and not going down the groove at the side. And then I just butt my paper to the edge of my little shim. So we get 2 centimetres again. We're going to go down and we're going to give it a good scores, some good score lines there, and repeat the process. 2 centimetres on each side, and the long side. How do I know what size I need? Well, I follow a very simple formula. I work out, I draw myself, I get a post-it note or a scrap piece of paper and a pencil, and I draw my very poor drawing skills, and I place the length and the width measurements in. Then I draw another box around it and put those lines in, and this is my depth. So D, 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 D. So we end up with depth times length, sorry, depth plus length plus length. So depth plus length plus depth. And then the other way is depth plus width plus depth, and that will give us our size that we need to do. Hi Jill. Hi Lynn. Thank you for coming back. So we now have two pieces of cardstock that are scored at 2 centimeters all around. So the pink is our base. Hi to everybody who's just joined us. So I'm just reinforcing my score lines. Hi Giselle, hi Jill. Okay, green is the lid, pink is the base. Now these boxes are going to be very useful for me tomorrow. Oh, near Canada. Now when I make a box, I cut either side of the score line up to the top score line, and then I cut them out, so I'm removing the score line, and then fold those back that way and snip, making sure you go all the way up to that score line, and then snip them off there. Snip off there. Now it doesn't matter which way. Hi Zena. Oh, Zaina. Sorry, not Zena, Zaina. Whereabouts in the UK are you, my lovely? Doesn't matter which side you do these tabs, you just need to make sure you do it on opposite sides. So I've gone for these ones, and I'm just cutting out my score lines again. So I'm going to fold that back, so that way I can always see if I've gone up far enough, because if I fold it in and it doesn't poke up, it's not quite there. Okay, there we go. So you want it to end up looking like this. So you have your tabs. You can probably see the pink peeping through. They are exactly the same size. The pink is my base and the green is going to be my top. I keep saying it because I need to remind myself, because I have a dreadful memory, and when I'm trying to talk to you, make a project and remember something, that is just a step too far for this old brain of mine. I love these colours together, and the reason I've chosen these colours is because this week on the blog and Facebook I'm sharing projects using the Merry Bold and Bright suite, and they are two of the colours that are in there, and I just love them. I think they're gorgeous. So let's get those pieces in, and there we have it. Sweep away our mess, close the scissors so we don't stab ourselves, and grab ourselves some tape. Now I'm using Tear and Tape Norfolk. I've been to Norfolk. You have a very nice cathedral. And I'm going to fold those tabs down and in, like so. And then I'm just going to use my Tear and Tape and place some adhesive next to the folded forward score line. You can put far more, you can put wet glue, you can use tape runner, whatever you like. I like Tear and Tape because I don't have to use scissors, and it is nice and strong. So we take the tape cover off. Come on, there you go. and we're going to, holding that slightly back, just bring those corners together, making sure that the top and the bottom are nicely married up. Here we go, second. Now this box is going to be one to hold some cards I've made for tomorrow's post. So if you're very quick, you might get a sneak peek of what I'm doing. I wanted to show you that with this shim, with the little acetate shim I've made, you can create a box without ever having to worry about the lid being too big, because it won't be, I promise. This creates enough space, gap, I don't quite know what to call it, when you're doing it, to allow the lid to fit snugly on top of the box without bending or bowing your box. So let's take these final ones off. So we're going to go again, make sure your tape is in and offer up the corners so the top edges and the corners are nice and neat. If you have nice neat corners, you have a very smart finish, and that's what we want, particularly if you're making a box for a gift. Now I know Lynn, who watches, who hopefully is still watching, is an expert box maker. She makes all sorts of amazing boxes, but this kind of small tray gift box is perfect for your cards and envelopes. Now, base, lid, or was it the other way around? I don't know, but what I do know is when I get my corners out, they fit together. That doesn't, because I haven't put it in the right place. There you have it. Fits a treat. Now, what I would suggest, if you have one handy, is to cut yourself a couple of little finger notches in the sides. I just use a small circle punch, and you love your boxes, you do. So, well, I have actually made some decorations for this as well. And this is where you get your little sneaky peek of what I'm using for tomorrow. I have got here some of the Merry and Bold and Bright paper. I'm just going to create a little decoration for the top of my lid of my box. I'm using the Merry, Bold and Bright paper. It's not fancy, I haven't done anything fancy schmancy. I've just cut a panel of paper. I'm just going to put a strip of paper across there as if it was a little bit of ribbon. That's that, because my piece of paper wasn't quite long enough. I'm then going to adhere this. I like using wet glue because it's quick and simple. On the front, oh no, look, I've made it too wide. What a donut. What do I do now? Now I get my trimmer out and I turn it upside down and I work out how wide I need it to be. I need it to be 9.5 centimetres. Like that. And then we're going to put this panel back on top of there, like that, and stick it on top, like that. And then we have this nice tag, which we're going to place just there. The tags from the Merriest Trees dies. They're one of my favourites at the moment. colours are lovely, but thank you, Jill and Mumsy. So if I can get them off, that goes on there like that. So what am I putting in my box? Well, for tomorrow's post, I have made 5 cards and envelopes, and now they don't fit. Oh, I have messed up my measurements. Oh well, you'll have to wait till Friday to see the box for that, but this is the box as it goes together. Simple process, easy access, fits every time because of the shim. You just need to make sure you get your width and depth and length right, not like I just did. I don't know why I did that wrong. I thought I'd got it right, but hey ho. It's still a nice little box, and definitely one that I could pop a nice bar of chocolate in, some pretty note cards, all sorts. Anyway, on to the next one. Now that process that I used was the same size piece of paper. I see you say, will that work with different sizes? I do believe it will. So for this second piece, I've got a piece of Blueberry Bushel cardstock that measures 18.5 by 18.5, and I'm going to score this at 5.5 centimetres on all sides. Now, where's 5.5? It's not on that side. If you're on a metric board, your measurement isn't on that side, which is very annoying. So you have to move it across to 15 and go to 20.5. Now why the Americans made it that way, I have no idea. So we're going to go to 15 again and then 20.5. I'm making a much deeper base to this box. 15 and 20.5. 15 and 20.5. So that's my base scored. Now for my top lid, I need to score at 3.5, and I'm going to use my clip-on shim. Now this paper is going to be a bit tricky because there's no half marks on there until I get over there. So what am I going to do? Well, do you know what? I think I will just score it at 4 and make it a bit longer. Or I could go 3 and make it... No, I'll go for 4. No, I won't. I'm going to find the marks and draw the pencil lines in. I have just found a failure with the system. I need to find 3.5 centimetres, which is there, and transpose that to there, which is going to be there. This plan was so well thought out, and now it's just gone to pieces because I didn't think to check about the measurements. How silly am I? Well, we live and learn. Hopefully I can make this work. If I can't, we'll try something else. So I've got my score lines. The one thing I am going to do is actually bring in my ruler. Where has the trusty beast gone? And see how big my internal marks are. How big that gap space is. That's going to be 7 point something, and my spacing on here I think is going to be much bigger. Yep. Very annoying, but we'll go ahead and we'll see if we can make this work. So lesson learnt. It's left-handed. It is, yes. Oh, well thought out, missus. Turn the board up the other way And the 1 centimetre lines, you can't see them probably because there's not enough space, but if I turn my plate up the other way, I've got the score lines down there, so I can still do it. Put my panel thing back in on the top of the board. Come on, get in there, board. The board is in. This are up there. My tool is here. 1, 2, 3.5. Aha. 1, 2, 3.5. Well thought out. I'm so glad people are on here have got brains. I haven't. And the final one. 1, 2, 3.5. So 1, 2, 3.5. Oh, I didn't do that one. I knew I'd get one wrong. Yes, I did. 1, 2, 3.5. There it is. Okay, let's see if we can make this box work. I know how to do all these things using my trimmer, but I was assured that it would be easier with my scoreboard. I just hope it is. Let me just measure that measurement there, because that needs to be, yeah, that's right. So we're going to cut again, cut out our score lines, not all the extra ones I've put in this one, but hopefully this will work. Measure that one, make sure that's the right width. Yes, that's the right one to go up to, and we'll clip them out and clip them out there. Go back to this one. I'm just double checking everything to make sure it is the right score lines I'm clipping up. I think I'm going to give boxes a miss from now on with this on Facebook Lives, because I seem to get them wrong every time. But hey, I'm having fun. I hope you are. I love this paper though. Do you like spots, or are you a striped person? Absolutely, that's why if you have a double-ended ball tool you use the wider part. So I have now got my box ready to go, lid to go. So let's put some tape on here and get this lid hopefully working for us. I do hope it goes all right. Otherwise I'll have to get Lynn to come on and show us how it's done. What do you think, Lynn? You up for doing one? Up for doing a Facebook Live for me? Come and show me how to do it, share it with me. Here we go. And the final part there. Now I will be back next week with more things using scoreboard, but it won't be a box. I've got a couple of ideas for using it that don't involve making a box, so I won't make a box. I'll stick to making cards. I think I might be better off doing that. Stand more chance of it going right. But you'll do it with me? Yay, thanks. I'll have to get you added on and we can do it together and you can show me how it's done. We can work that out. I had to cut my fingernail off at the weekend because it broke, and I'm missing it for things like peeling tape off. Alright, last two for this lid and then we'll get onto the base and then we'll find out if it worked. the principle works. I know it does because I made some little practice ones beforehand. I don't know what went wrong. Probably me faffing. There we go. And the last one for this paper lid. Now this is pattern paper and I am using it for the lid because it is quite a sturdy weight. I do believe it's about 230, 240 GSM, which is quite sturdy. There. Now let's make the base. Let's cut in as we do. Now these ones have a bit wider, but I use the same principle for all of them. I feel like I'm not talking enough because I'm trying to concentrate on getting it all right instead of fluffing it, but I seem to be doing fluffing and not talking, so I'm really doing well today. Again, make sure you go for opposites, not every side. And if you have long cuts to make, actually longer bladed scissors are better. I've got very short bladed scissors I'm using at the moment, but really I should get some longer bladed scissors out. That would make the job easier and I would stand more chance of getting nice straight lines. So, final snips. Wash that out of the way. Let's get this box put together. I'm just going to go for a single piece of tape on this one because time is of the essence, I believe. I don't want this to take too long. Now, I can see a design fault here that I think we can easily fix. Now, when I fit this together, can you see how this is going to overlap on each other? Which will make a nice strong box. But what it does mean is I need tape on the piece that is going to overlap. So that is going to go on there. So just for these ones on here, I'm going to put both sides. So let's start with this panel. Take off the tape, offer up the edges, get it nice and straight. Bring in this side, which has two pieces of tape on it, so that it doesn't. You could always cut them smaller, but I want quite a sturdy box, and I think that helps make it nice and sturdy. Just remember, single side straight, double side on the inside. There we go. And then the final piece. Take the backing off the tape and we'll close up our box, and fingers crossed the lid will fit, because if it doesn't, I think I'll cry. No, I won't really, but there we go. We now have our nice, tidy, neat box base. And does the lid fit? It's too big. I should have stuck with my first score lines. Oh, that's very annoying. This is what is supposed to happen. This is the base. This is a lid. For the box that we first made, these two pieces of card were exactly the same size, and they sit one on top of the other neatly. I then kept the base, but I made another lid that is a centimetre taller. The lid, not the base, so that I have some sides showing. So I did all of that wrong. What am I going to do about it? Do you know what? I'm not going to be beaten by this. I'm going to give it another go. Let me get some pattern paper and cut it up what were my original directions? The lid I had at 14.4 by, no, my inside measurements for this box, let's measure the box, is 7.5. So my internal box measurement for the lid is 7.5 by 7.5. I'm going to draw the width I want to go round. I want it to be 3 centimetres. So it's going to be 3, 3, 3, 3. So 3 plus 7 is 10. So 10.5 plus 3 is 13.5. Not 14.5. That was where I went wrong. I got my original measurements wrong. 10, 13.5. That's right. Let's get this scoreboard, the trimmer in. Let's cut some pattern paper to 13.5 by 13.5. 13.5 by 13.5. And then we bring the scoreboard back in. We've got the scoreboard. Oh, don't break the base. Come on. We've got the scoreboard. Let's put the plate down the other way because we're now doing a whole number, and I know that there is whole numbers there. We've got our little shim, making sure it's sitting on top of the panel and not down the side. We've got the large tip on our ball tip so that it doesn't go through the paper. 1, 2, 3, and score. On all 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, and score. 1, 2, 3, and score. 1, 2, 3, and score. So we now have 4 score lines made using the shim. Let's put this to one side and very quickly see if we can get this to work properly. So, scissors. Oh, scissors. Let's do this fold first so that I can see where I'm cutting. Trim out my score lines. Fold in so I can cut off my little tabs, my little strips. Fold in and up. Make sure I'm cutting opposite. And again on the other side, just cut out the score line, up to the score line, fold it back, trim it out, clean the mess, get some tape. Sorry about this, guys. Put some tape on. You're going to be super quick at this because this has taken far longer than I thought it would. But that's what happens sometimes, isn't it? We make... I won't be beaten. It will not beat me. I am going to do this. So, I've got my tape. Take the cover off. Line up my score lines so that they're nice and neat. I want to make sure my box lid is tidy. Make sure my tape is tucked in. There we go. Third, penultimate side. Come on, we're getting there, we're getting there. And there. And then we get there. Now, we have a lid. Keep your fingers crossed. It's going to fit on top of the box, and it does! Phew, that's a relief. So there we have it. The little shim works. My maths, not so good. The box shim works a treat. You can see you can make a box using the same two pieces of card, exactly the same size. With the shim you will get a lid that is secure, snug, will hold things tidy. If you do the maths right. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Lynn. If you do the maths right, you can make it work whatever side. Going back to my little rough drawing there, it really is a case of, I don't think you can actually see that. So what do I, let me do it again. Let me just find a piece of paper. There's never a piece of scrap paper around when you want one, is there? Hang on, here we go. What's this? So, I draw the measurement of the piece that I want to be the area of my, thank you Jill, of my box. So if I say that is the width, that is the length, I now need to work on the depth. The depth is the size of the box around it. Like so. So that would be depth, 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 depth. So we would have depth plus width plus depth equals, and that way we would have depth plus length plus depth will equal, and that would be, if I make the box 5 centimeters by 10 centimeters with a depth of 2 centimeters on all sides. For this equation that would be 2 and 5 makes 7, 8, 9, and this side would be 2, 12, 14. So the size of my box piece of cardstock would be 14 by 9. Scored on all sides at 2 centimeters. Is depth always 3 centimeters? No. The depth can be whatever you want it to be. If you're making, if you do like for this box, that would be the same all the way round. That would have, you would have to put little notches in it. If you want to make one like this, where your lid is larger, you would have your base, which would be depth plus width plus depth equals, and then length, depth plus length plus depth equals. So if we say for our base here, we're going to make it, my drawings obviously are not to scale, I'm no artist, so we would make our box to be 10 by 10 with a depth of 5. So that would be depth is 5 plus width is 10, that's 15, so that would be 20 by 20. Score at 5. But for our lid, we want it to be 3 centimeters. Depends on the contents, yeah, but the basic shape on the inside will still be 10 by 10. And our measurements around the outside, our depth are always, can be, doesn't always, can be smaller. So I would do 3. So that would be 3 plus the width of 10 plus another depth. You always have to remember you need 2 lots of depth, and then same again, so that would be 3 plus 10 plus 3. Doesn't have to be a square. That's 16 by 16. Score at 3. You can do that on a rectangle. You don't have to. The important part is working out what your base measurement is, the middle area, whether it's a rectangle or a square. Then working out your depth, whether you want your lid to fit the same depth or whether you want it to be like this one with a gap. Well, I'm rubbish at maths. It makes more sense to you. I'm so glad it makes more sense to you. I just wish I had made it more sensibly the first time round instead of getting it wrong. So here's my base and my lid that are the same sizes. The base sits it, the lid slips on top of the base, nice and neat, same size. That's that one. This is my deeper base with a shorter lid. There we go. I hope that makes sense. I'm really sorry for messing up, but you know what? That's life. I'm good at it. So have a great week. Don't forget, guys, if you are placing orders with Stampin' Up this week, please place them today, tomorrow or Wednesday before 10:50 p.m. or if you're in the UK, so that you can get your free shipping. So that is on an order over £60. Now I do have another little tip. If you're placing an order for £60, how about spending another £5, so £65, and consider becoming a demonstrator yourself? Because at the moment, for the whole month, we have a very special 35th anniversary offer, which entails 35% off the price. So £65 instead of £99 for £130 worth of goodies, or 35% more, which gives you £175 worth of goodies for £99. Plus, you get free registration to Stampin' Up's On Stage at Home event in November. If you're interested in any of this, give us a shout. If not, if you already have a demonstrator, please go and speak to them about it. If you're in the UK and don't have a demonstrator already, please message. We're always happy to chat. If you're in South Pacific or North America or other parts of Europe, please look on the website or speak to somebody who is a demo where you're from. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you for sticking with me, and I hope I haven't frazzled your brains as much as I've frazzled my own. So that's it for this week. Join me next week when I stick to cards, which I think I can manage somewhat easier than maths. I will put these up as finished projects. Take care, look after yourselves. Bye bye.